Hello and welcome to Religion and Life. I'm your host, Ozzie Ostwald. Travel can be an integral part of a student's educational experience, and when they can combine travel with learning, magical things can happen. Two of our religious studies students here at Appalachian, Hayden Gala and Elena McLaughlin, recently completed internships that took them to the other side of the globe and introduced them to exciting cultures and religions. Thank you, Hayden and Elena, for joining us today. I'm really excited to hear about your experiences and really proud that you were able to travel and get religious studies credit for it and learn and have these wonderful experiences as part of your time here. So good for you. Hayden, why don't we start with you? You, of course, Bali and Hinduism.
Yes.
Or Hinduism/Buddhism. And Elena, Malaysia and Islam. These are two pretty exotic places, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not like going to Rome and doing an internship on Roman Catholicism. So, Hayden, tell me maybe how you got interested in Bali and how this internship came to be, because it's not something we see every day.
Yeah, well, honestly, a year before, I took a gap semester and volunteered in Costa Rica. And that's whenever I really found a passion for being immersive in other cultures and learning about what makes them unique and how locals live. And whenever I was given the opportunity to go to Bali and learn about their religion specifically, because it's such a religiously oriented place, I was really excited to just put myself in their shoes, especially in it's a very touristy place, and it's known as a vacation destination rather than a place to learn. And so being able to learn with the locals and understand where the divide is was really, really special.
I bet that was a challenge.
It was.
Yeah. So were you attracted to Bali or to Hinduism or both? Or
a little bit of both. I mean, I've never been on that side of the world, so that was a really big jump for me. And Hinduism has always been very interesting to me growing up with my mom studying meditation and having a guru. So it was always something that was present in my life, but not fully present. So I was really excited to make it a little bit more noticeable, I guess, in my life.
You practice yoga?
I do.
Oh, good. All right. So did you get to practice some while you were there?
No, so yoga actually isn't very prevalent there.
Really?
It's mainly Americans that brought yoga to Bali, so not many locals actually practice yoga at all.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elena, tell me how you got interested in Malaysia, or was it Islam and Malaysia just happened to be where you went?
Yeah, so my internship was connected to Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So every year they send multiple different groups of interns to different parts of the world, and I was just placed in Malaysia. To be so honest, I didn't know where Malaysia was when I first found out. I just assumed it was somewhere in Asia, but being there was truly so incredible. And just the atmosphere, like I've never felt so safe, which to think about is just so crazy. And the culture there is just so intriguing. And yeah, Islam is the main religion in Malaysia. And so basically if you are born in Malaysia, you go into the government as Muslim. And if you get caught practicing another religion, it can be really bad. So kind of just realizing that and realizing just how much people go through every day just to practice what religion they want was just really crazy.
So the official religion is Islam?
Yes.
And other religions are outlawed or just frowned upon, or?
They're outlawed.
Okay.
So like the group that we worked with are Christians because they work for Fellowship of Christian Athletes, but they have to be like pretty low on the radar just to kind of get by with it.
Right. Okay. So both of you, you're a religious studies major.
Yes, I am.
And Hayden, you are a minor.
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Your major's interior design. I want to come back to that in a little bit. But you both got academic credit for these trips, and you were both there about a month, I think. Right? So that's really wonderful. So you said, Hayden, that the culture there is kind of infused with religion, right? So is it that much more apparent in everyday life than, say, life here, where?
Oh, every move they make
Yeah.
has to do with their religion.
Yeah.
From the time that they get up in the morning to the time that they go to bed.
Really?
They start each day off with offerings to the gods all over their home. Each home has a temple in it. So they'll pray at the temple every day, and they'll give offerings every single day. Some families will go into personal debt to make sure they have enough offerings for the gods.
Really?
And it's down to like the food that they eat. Everything is centered around their religion.
So is it mostly rituals that take place in the home, or is there also temple life as well?
Both.
Okay.
So they have rituals at home and at temples. So they do go to big temples, but that's for usually bigger events. The at-home ones are just for every single day that they use, and they're always placed in a very specific point in the house when it's facing the holiest place in Bali, which is at Mount Agung. It's like known to be where the gods lie.
Okay.
It's an active volcano on there. So
and
really
it's a
cool.
sacred mountain.
Very, very sacred, yeah.
So the shrines face that mountain. Okay. Wow, I bet there's some prayer places in Malaysia that are facing Mecca, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So is daily life in Malaysia as religiously oriented as what Hayden has described?
I would say no.
Okay.
I feel like it's much more relaxed. One thing that we did notice, we were in different Airbnbs while we were there, and we woke up in the middle of the night to just like this loud bell. And obviously coming from the U.S., we did not know what that was, but it was just time for them to pray. And yeah, it was really interesting, but I wouldn't say it's quite as involved in their daily life.
But most of the populace would observe the 5 periods of prayer during the day?
Yes.
Yeah, so things would kind of come to a halt. And
yes.
Yeah.
Everything stops and they pray.
So let's say you're in an office in one of the cities in Malaysia. Is there a designated area for prayer where someone can go and practice ritualistic prayer?
I actually am not sure.
Okay.
What we were there for was more of kind of reaching out to other Christians in the area.
So you were working more with Christians who were persecuted in the area, or
not persecuted?
Not persecuted, but weren't free to publicly express. Oh, okay,
yes.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay. So I'm sure, I mean, you didn't even know you were going to Malaysia, and Bali, you said you've never been to that part of the world, so there had to be some challenges, right? Travel itself is a challenge, but Hayden, tell me about some of the challenges you may have had adapting to the culture or the food or the language or the people, or I'm sure you've got a lot of good stories to tell.
Yeah, I would say like the travel part wasn't that difficult for me because travel is very important to me. I love to travel. With Costa Rica, I went alone, so that kind of opened my eyes to doing that already. The hardest part was definitely the time difference because it was a 12-hour time difference. So that was difficult to get used to. The food, it's very close to like Indian cuisine in the local parts, at least. In the touristy parts, it's very related to like South America with like the tropical like smoothie bowls and things like that. I will say one of the hardest parts was staying sanitary when it came to the food, because you can't wash anything underneath their water or else you'll get sick. And so my diet here is based on like whole foods, so like vegetables, things of that sort. Everything there is cooked. So I basically had protein for every single meal, like chicken and rice every day, and that was hard for my body to get used to, but not crazy. But the hardest thing culturally was definitely how polite they were.
Oh, that's it used to be.
In America, we have this notion that we don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
For them, they owe everybody everything.
Really?
So like so I was teaching there as well on my off time, and at the end of each class, the students would come up to me, take my hand and put it to their forehead, and that's just saying thank you for the knowledge. And so they had small things like that. And then older people would sit above younger people. And if they respected you, they would call you like Ibu or Pak. And Ibu is like their version of ma'am, and Pak is like sir. So that was very interesting.
So you felt like people there, your students and others, were deferential to you because you were a teacher, or because you were American, or just because that's part of the culture?
It's just their culture. They didn't treat me any different because I was a teacher or because I was an American. If anything, I was their friend first before I was their teacher. And honestly, they taught me more than I probably ever could have taught them.
I think I'm going to demand my students start touching their hand to my forehead when they leave class. That's really nice.
It was.
So as a woman, did you feel, how did you feel treated in terms of equality or equal rights? Or?
It was very equal there.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, everybody is very peaceful and very respectful. If they have a bad thought, they'll never say it. So even if they did have a thought about me being an American woman in their presence, never said anything about it. There was a specific example where the teacher that I was assisting, she invited me to her temple cleansing ceremony at her home. And it's very intimate because it's only their family members that go there. And it's just very, very sacred. And when I walked up there, I definitely got some stares because, I mean, I'm a white American woman dressed in their traditional attire showing up, and they've never seen me before.
Right.
But they offered me food. They educated me. They even gave me a front row seat to watch it, which was very kind of powerful. I was like, I'm your guest. Sit me in the back. I'm good. I don't need to.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So did you have any trouble with language, or
we took language classes while we were there, and then I was teaching them English.
Okay.
And so they taught me Bahasa as I taught them English. So it was kind of a give and a take with both of us. So it became easier.
Very good. That's great. Elena, how about your challenges? Culture, food, people, language, all the above? Or you were working mostly with, you were working with Malaysians who were Christians, so
Yes.
The language still would have been an issue. So how was your experience and challenges you had to solve?
The language wasn't too bad. They speak a lot of English, which was very convenient. It was just more of like accents and just trying to figure out what they really meant, because sometimes we would use a word that they didn't know quite yet. So that was kind of not watering down what we were saying necessarily, but picking words that we knew they knew was kind of difficult sometimes. The food was amazing. It's just your good old Asian food. And, you know, we think here in the U.S., like, we'll go eat Asian food and we're like, oh, this is so good. Not until you've had it.
Whole different level, huh?
Yeah, not until you've had it there. Which was such a blessing to have just such good food over there.
Well, I think a lot of Asian food here, and probably Indian food too, is changed a little bit to appeal to American palate. So you're getting the authentic thing when you were there. Yeah.
Yes, it was so good. I think the main cultural difference that was really challenging for us was how we couldn't just talk about the Lord wherever we went. So there was one day we were in Starbucks, and the girl that was checking us out was like, hey, what are y'all doing here? You're obviously American. And we were like, oh, we're here on mission. And she was like, oh. And
so she was afraid of you then, right?
Yeah, she was. And our hosts were like, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. So just not being able to speak freely about what we believed was really, really difficult to get around as people that were going over there that just are so on fire for the Lord. And we're just like so willing to share the gospel here. Going over there and not being able to was kind of scary, honestly, sometimes.
Yeah. So I wonder if travelers who aren't in a group like yours, I wonder if they're warned about being careful about religion and how they communicate about religion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay. So as a woman, how did you feel? Did you feel equal or needed to be submissive in any way, or what's the role of women like in Malaysia?
I felt equal.
Okay.
I also felt really safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we would be walking around the mall, and I didn't feel like I needed more than just my other friend there with me, which is just not something that I would feel in the U.S. But yeah, I felt it was like super equal. We were all ready to serve, and none of the Malaysian people treated us any differently just because we were women.
That's great. So, were you both in big cities?
Mm-mm.
Small? No.
Very small.
Partially,
Okay.
we were in different spots.
So you were in a more rural place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you were moving around?
Yeah.
I have some images I think I just pulled off at random, so I'm not sure I know what's what. Does that ring a bell to either one of you? I think this is a mosque in Malaysia. I doubt you got to see this one.
I didn't.
But I thought it was beautiful, and I wanted to include it just to show what a presence Islam has there. And let's see what the next image is here. After the mosque, I think I have a picture of Ramadan maybe, and people celebrating in the streets of Malaysia.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So Ramadan is, of course, very important in Islamic religion and culture.
Yeah.
And here's just I've never quite seen it celebrated like this, but I suppose when that's the dominant religion in a place, you could expect crowds like this. But did you see anything that was even remotely similar to this? I know you weren't there during Ramadan, but this kind of public expression of religion communally like this?
Not really.
Yeah.
I will say we went to Kuala Lumpur, which is like the biggest city in Malaysia, and that was really cool.
Yeah. Okay. I think the next photo might take us to Bali. Yeah, does that look like Bali?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
Is this a temple you recognize?
That's in Basaki.
That's
So that's
Basaki.
the one that I was showing you earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good. So that's inside the gates there. I picked a good one at random.
You
then.
did. You
And
very much
the
did.
mountain in the background.
I don't believe. That might be Mount Agung.
Okay.
I don't want to be wrong, but it definitely could be.
Okay. Well, so did you see anything like this? I mean, this looks like a
Yes.
kind of communal meditation.
I was a part of a few of those.
Okay.
So,
And
yeah.
tell me, it's very colorful.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So each color represents the three manifestations of God. So red is Brahma, yellow is Vishnu, and white is Shiva, I believe.
Okay.
And so they try to represent their gods in everything that they do. You can't see it, but they each have offerings in front of them. And each offering has the three different colored flowers in there, as well as rice, incense, palm leaves, and things of that sort. So the colors represent a very big part of their religion.
Okay. Now, you're an interior design major, religious
Yes.
studies minor.
Yeah.
So this is not interior design necessarily, but what's the architecture? Is it symbolic in a sense, or is this kind of typical of?
That's very typical. It's not typical of homes. It's typical of temples, though. I don't necessarily know the specific architecture that they chose, but it is very, very Asian.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see many things similar to that in Japan and
It struck
countries
me
of
as
that
being
sort.
similar to something you in Japan. Well, let's see what the next image here is. I just got this one because I thought it was so beautiful.
It is.
Some sort of sacred dance.
Yes. They do those dances to celebrate the gods during our leaving ceremony. They did a dance like that for us.
Okay. And so it's all women. Do men ever participate?
They do.
They do? Okay.
They do.
right.
This is probably just a photo of when the women are dancing, but usually it'll start off with men and women, and then it'll go to only women, and then only men, and then they'll come back together.
Okay. And I saw some photos of you wearing similar garb to this. So, Did you dress this way the whole time you were there, or was that for ceremonial purposes?
So every Thursday, they are required by law to dress in their traditional attire. So the kabaya, which is at the top, the sash, which is what's around their waist, and the sarong at the bottom. And then anytime that you visit a big temple like Basaki, you have to be in those clothing.
Okay, so is this the same temple? That looks different to me.
I'm not fully sure.
Okay.
I'm not fully sure. Yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah.
But I'm not fully sure.
Okay. Wow, it's beautiful.
It is.
So I'm curious. I know, part of it is just immersion in the culture, but I'm sure that you learned something about the religions while you were there. Elena, even though you were kind of working with Christians, did you have any chance to learn about Islam and how it was practiced in Malaysia, or see any of that at all?
Not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
We were really just mainly focusing on Christianity. Yeah.
I knew you had some classes before you went. Did they introduce you to Islam at all?
Not really.
Okay, you'll have to come take the world religion class then. But you did get to see the prayer and things like that. And were there mosques where you were? I know the big one. So were they similar at all, or
yes,
but just not as big? Okay.
Yeah, they were just like that, but small. But they looked pretty much the same.
Did you have a chance to go in one?
No.
Okay, you didn't get to go in one.
No.
That's off limits, right?
Yes, that is very off limits.
Okay. Did you need to wear head coverings at any point?
No.
Or did women there wear head coverings?
Yes, they did.
So all the time, pretty much. But that was not a requirement for non-Muslims.
Yes, not for us.
Okay, cool. So what'd you learn about Hinduism? You said it was Hinduism/Buddhism.
Yes. So Bali has a very specific religion. It was named Hinduism whenever they were taken over. I think it's by the Dutch. I believe it was by the Dutch. And they saw their religion and was like, this is very similar to India. We're going to name this as Hinduism. But in reality, it's a mixture of Hinduism, Buddhism, and then the nature in Bali. So like Mount Agung, it's very centered around their nature and what's present in Bali itself. So it's very specific to itself.
Well, I think Hinduism, even though there's probably some indigenous traditions there that oriented religion toward nature, Hinduism is also very open to nature and associates a lot of the gods with the natural world. Mm-hmm. So, Elena, your internship was set up through which one? Fellowship of Christian Athletes,
yes.
FCA. I remember that. So, how did you coordinate with the department to get academic credit? Did you have a departmental supervisor?
I did not get academic credit.
You didn't get? Oh, no. Yours was different.
I was going to, but I was ahead, so I didn't need it.
Oh, you had too many hours.
I had too many hours already, unfortunately.
Would it have been possible to get academic credit? And you would have had to have a supervisor in the department? Yeah,
so originally, before I realized I didn't need credit, Davis Hankins was my supervisor. And then as we were looking more into my credit hours, we just decided I didn't need it.
So you had a biblical studies scholar who was going to be your internship supervisor for an internship in Malaysia, which is an Islamic country. Well, I was just trying to think through all the intricacies there. So,
yes.
Yeah. Would you recommend others proceed with an internship like this?
Yes.
Was it anxiety producing, not knowing where you were going?
Well, when I applied, I didn't know where I was going, but once I was accepted, I knew.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you had a little bit of a heads up.
About a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was flying all the way completely across the world and not knowing really what it was like was a little scary.
And that is a tough, the 12-hour transition is tough. I've been to China, and it's really difficult physically and emotionally for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
So Hayden, I know I asked you earlier, but you didn't get to elaborate. Interior design major. So
Yes.
I ask if surely you learned about Bali and you learned about Hinduism, but what did you pick up in terms of your design eye, if anything?
I would just say I was very aware of whenever the design was religious, which I think is very important in my major because of cultural appropriation and things of that sort. I personally want to design restaurants and hotels abroad and in America, but I just want to make sure that I'm not taking something that's sacred to a religion or a different country out of context or putting it somewhere it shouldn't be.
Right.
And so I was just very aware of what I've seen in America there and where I've noticed that maybe this is more of a religious aspect and not a design aspect.
So is that where being sensitive to that sort of thing, is that where your religious studies minor has helped at all?
Yes,
Okay.
it has a lot.
You probably don't talk about that in the design part of your...
We don't, and my professors are very confused by my minor. But
Well, I think you should explain and educate them on what you're doing here.
they're very supportive.
Yeah, good. That's great.
Yes.
So would you
they're
recommend
wonderful.
a similar kind of internship to your fellow students, even in the design?
Yes, 100%. I think it's very important to put your feet in somebody else's shoes
Yeah.
and go to a different country and explore and see how other people live and just see what you take for granted every day.
Yeah.
Is that what you got out of it too, Elena?
Yeah.
The idea of just being immersed in the culture for a period of time?
Yeah. We're completely across the world from them. We don't know how they live.
Yeah.
Being over there, seeing how they live, what they do in a day was just so amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm jealous of both of your experiences. Now, you did get academic credit.
I
right?
did.
Who was your supervisor?
Dr. Faust.
Okay, so you
Yes.
Yes,
were. He's
Dr.
chair
Faust.
of our department. So,
Yes.
Yes.
And you know him as well. Yeah, he came to me, I guess, a couple of weeks ago and said, "I've got a great idea for the show," and apparently he had talked to both of you and was really impressed with the work you did. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on today. Any last words about the internship experience or cultural travel or anything like that?
Do it.
Yes, do it.
Yeah. I would echo that too. I know it takes a chunk out of your life and it's expensive and everything else, but it's well worth it. So
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm proud of both of you.
Thank
Glad
you.
that you're both in our program, and I'll see you next semester, Elena. All right.
See you next semester.
All right. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank
Thank
so much.
you.
Well, that's it for this week on Religion and Life. I hope you'll join us again next week as we continue to explore the relationship between religion, society, and culture. Until then, this is Ozzy Ostwald.